What is going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to talk about the NFL draft order and potential draft implications that might be happening here with obviously the Arizona Cardinals and just what's happening here in the world of the NFL right now. Please keep in mind here, the Arizona Cardinals have been absolutely silent. There hasn't really been anything to do or anything to talk about whenever we're thinking about the Arizona Cardinals. There's been nothing happening, right? Yesterday, we ended up talking about the Brock Purdy billboards that's all across the Phoenix metropolitan area. So yes, is that bad? But there was a report that ended up coming out yesterday that I wanted to dive into, but I wanted to go ahead and make sure that I left some time to, obviously talk about it today. Once I did a little bit more research pertaining to, hey, maybe there might be a wrench thrown in this whole draft order for the Arizona Cardinals and maybe some implications that maybe the Cardinals can very well benefit from. So huge shout out here. We got some people here already in the chat. We got Julian, we got Kenny, we got Joseph, we got Arturo Gaming up in the house. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Obviously, big shout out here to the sponsors of the video, Foco, as well as Underdog Fantasy. If you want to play anything daily fantasy, Underdog Fantasy is the way to go. Using promo code AZSF will get you your first initial deposit match up to $100 by using promo code AZSF. And Foco, you get yourself 10% off any merch or anything, right? If you're not a Cardinal fan, no worries. You're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, you're a Miami Dolphins fan, a Kansas City Chiefs fan, no worries. Check out Foco.com and get yourself 10% off at checkout. Everything will be in the description of the video. So let's dive into it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to waste your guys' time anymore. Let's talk about it. A report ended up coming out yesterday pertaining to Caleb Williams. Now, yes, you saw this correctly. Caleb Williams was on the thumbnail of this video because it has to do with the number one quarterback here of, most everybody's draft boards, right? Pertaining to who's going to go number one overall. That's most likely Caleb Williams. So this is the report that we're talking about right now. Now, this has nothing to do. I'm not saying the Arizona Cardinals are going after Caleb Williams. Not saying that. So if you're excited, that's not what's happening. But this is definitely something to keep our eyes on. So this says this report: Broncos want to trade up in this year's NFL draft for USC Caleb Williams per Tony Pauline. Now, I want to be very specific here. The Arizona Cardinals right now are sitting in the 4th overall spot here in the NFL draft. We've been talking about this verbatim, right? All this offseason talk has been draft and free agency, right? So bear with me here, right? That's what we're going to be talking about here for the remaining months until we are done with that. The Cardinals right now are sitting at the 4th overall spot here in the NFL draft, and we also do have, I believe it's the 27th spot, which is the pick that belongs to the Texans. And we've been talking about this forever. The Bears are the one team that we're constantly looking at to figure out what the heck they're going to do. Now, if there is any validity to this report, which I do believe there is, now I'm not sure if they're specifically targeting Caleb Williams or if they're specifically targeting any of the top 3 quarterbacks, right? Caleb Williams, Drake May, or maybe even Jaden Daniels, right? We don't exactly know 110%. But one thing that I do know is that the way that the Broncos ended their season was just so freaking weird. It was just so freaking weird. No, hear me out here. The way that the Broncos ended their season, They were probably about 2 wins maybe away from making some sort of playoff push. But no, they decided to not play Russell Wilson in the last part of the season because of fear of him risking or fear of him getting injured, right? There's a report, or not a report, there's a rumor out there saying that Sean Payton does not want to continue with Russell Wilson moving forward in terms of being QB1. Now, what they're going to do with Russell Wilson, I have no clue. That man's getting paid so much money. So much money. I don't know. But one thing that we do know is the owners of the Broncos are the people who own Walmart. And they got a lot of money. They got a lot of money. So the way that the Broncos ended their season, benching Russell Wilson, right? And they said because of they don't want to risk him getting injury. And obviously the injury settlement is a thing that kind of was a storyline that the Cardinals had to follow as well with Kyler Murray and all that different stuff. But focusing here on the Denver Broncos, I don't think that Sean Payton is fully committed to a Russell Wilson. I truly, truly don't think that he's fully committed to a Russell Wilson. So this is where we're sitting at right now. Now, we've been talking about this forever now, right? We've been talking about it's all depending on what the Chicago Bears are going to do at that number 1 overall spot. We've been talking about this verbatim. Now, we can live in a world where the Chicago Bears do trade out of that number 1 spot. What we don't want is for them to trade 2 or to 3. We don't want them to trade back to Washington. We don't want them to trade back to New England. We want them to either stay at the number 1 and get Caleb Williams, which has most people mocking Caleb Williams to the Chicago Bears, or we want them to trade right after the Arizona Cardinals. Now, why, you ask, right? Why? Well, the biggest no-brainer out there is that gives us a better opportunity to land the best possible prospect in this year's draft, which is Marvin Harrison Jr., the wide receiver out of Ohio State, right? Now, can we live in a world where Chicago trades all the way back to 12? Because that's where Denver's sitting at right now. Denver right now is sitting at the 12th spot in the NFL draft. Now, Denver is going to have to give up a lot of draft picks, and I mean a lot of draft picks if they want to make that huge leap. They're going to have to give up a lot of draft picks. And looking at their draft capital, they don't really have very much. Well, I guess they have 6 picks, right? They have the first, they have a third, they have a fourth, a fifth, and a seventh. Maybe we can live in a world where they can potentially give up multiple first-round picks for years to come, right? If I was Chicago, I wouldn't want to trade that far back, personally. But as a Cardinal fan speaking, I would love that scenario because what happens there? If the Denver does trade up to the number 1 overall spot, they're getting Caleb Williams. That's an absolute no-brainer. Washington is going to get Drake May. Now, New England is going to be a wild card. And I've heard and I read all the comments below, and people actually said out there that another team that we should be worried about with a potential of sniping Marvin Harrison Jr. away from the Cardinals is the Patriots. And I do agree with you guys to an extent. I just don't know if the new coaching staff is going to be wanting to roll with Zappe or Mac Jones. Now, why not give him one of the best wide receivers that we've seen, right? Coming out of the draft in quite some time. Yeah. There's definitely some room for a debate there. And I can completely 100% agree with you there. But I don't know. I just feel like it's a perfect opportunity for a new coaching staff for New England to get themselves a darn quarterback. And obviously, if it's quarterback, then the Arizona Cardinals are left with Marvin Harrison Jr. So I don't know, y'all. This is a report, right? This is a report that's coming out here, and I'm assuming it's somebody that has some sort of close connection with the Denver Broncos. Now, please keep in mind right now, this is the time where we have so many different rumors, reports, news. Everything is going to be surrounded around the idea that somebody wants to trade up, especially because the Chicago Bears, I don't think they even know what the hell they want to do. I don't think they even know what the heck they want to do, truly, right? We got a split of the fan base for Chicago saying, yes, we want to go after Caleb. And then there's another portion of the fan base saying, no, stay with Justin Fields. We've seen flashes and glimmers of hope that he could be the guy. Honestly, as a Cardinal fan right now, I'm just happy that we are not sitting at that number 1 overall spot because we would be the one in the headlines talking about a potential move. No, we're good. We're sitting pretty right now at the 4th overall spot here of the NFL draft. We're sitting pretty. I love where we're at because we could potentially get one of the best prospects coming out of this year's draft into quite some time. As long as the New England Patriots don't mess it up for us. And let's be honest here, ladies and gentlemen, who would Marvin Harrison Jr. rather play with? Now, I get it. It's not his decision. I am 100% fully aware that it's not his decision in terms of where he wants to get drafted. But if you're going to give anybody the option, would you rather play with Billy Zappi or what's it? I forgot his name. Is it Billy Zappi? Zappi or Mac Jones or Kyler Murray? Come on. Is that really even a question that we're out here saying, right? Now, these interviews are going to happen, right? Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to meet with everybody in the top 5, and he's going to be interviewed. It's just the way that it is. Maybe you should sabotage that interview with the New England Patriots. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. It's a perfect thing here, man. It's an absolute perfect thing. We're hearing a lot of rumors. We're hearing a lot of rumors right now, and this is the most recent one that we can kind of go back to. Because Denver's looking for a quarterback. I don't know if you guys believe it, and I know they're paying Russell Wilson a lot of money, but just the way they ended their season is absolutely wild. Is absolutely wild. You're going to sit your franchise quarterback with a potential opportunity to get into the playoffs and just sit him because of injury concerns injury concerns? No, I don't think Sean Payton is chums with Russell Wilson. There's a rumor out there saying that they might release him. Yeah, that's going to cause shockwaves across the NFL if they release him. Shockwaves. Honestly, Marvin, Kyler sounds so much better than Mac Jones or Marvin. If you ask me. Let's take it to the chat here. We got Adrian saying Giants trade 6 and 47 via Seahawks 107. And Giants trade 6 and 7 to, you're talking about to us? I mean, well, there is also the potential for the Cardinals to trade back as well, right? And I'm glad you actually said something like that. Let's stick with that. Right? Let's narrate to that. So let's live in a world where the Cardinals don't get what we want. Because, let's be honest, we don't get a lot what we want sometimes, a lot of the times, right? So let's live in that world. Let's say, for example, the Chicago Bears do trade back. Let's just say that they trade back with Denver, right? Let's just say that. Or they trade back with anybody else, the top 3, right? Those are really kind of the only ones that really matter. Let's call it like it is. Okay? So that number 1 overall spot goes Caleb. Washington's going to stay pat. I think they like the idea of getting Drake May. New England, let's say New England does snipe Marvin Harrison Jr. from us and they go Marvin Harrison Jr. The Arizona Cardinals are now sitting in a position where we have the top maybe 5 prospect and some people's, big boards with Jalen Daniels. Maybe the Cardinals can trade back. Maybe the Giants call up and say, hey, what do you want for that 4th overall spot? Man, then the Cardinals will be sitting pretty too because we're only going back 2 draft spots. And then we can still get a wide receiver. We can still get a top tackle. Heck, maybe even a quarterback. Sorry, cornerback, not quarterback, cornerback. DB. So we're in a pretty good position right now. We're in a pretty darn good position. So yes, it would hurt. I'm fully aware of that. I know tears would be rolling down people's faces if New England does snipe Marvin Harrison Jr. away from the Arizona Cardinals. I'm right there with you. But that just means we're open for business, baby. That just means we're open for business. Because contrary to what people believe, Daniel Jones, yes, just got paid not too long ago. I don't think they're sold on Daniel Jones, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think they're sold on Daniel Jones at all. If they do call up the Arizona Cardinals, because there could be some potential people back here that maybe want to take a look at a Jalen Daniels, right? Maybe Atlanta. Maybe Minnesota. Right? There's a couple teams. I think maybe even the potential Raiders, if they don't do anything in free agency. can potentially want to move up. Maybe the Giants go up, make a deal with the Cardinals. We go back 2 spots. We still get a tackle. We still got a wide receiver. Heck, maybe Malik Neighbors will be there. I know sure as heck Roma Dunze will most likely be there. I know some people don't want Roma Dunze that high, and that's fine. But there's still options. There's absolutely still options here for the Arizona Cardinals. So for the people that are just joining in, appreciate you guys for being here, by the way. What we're discussing right now is obviously the latest report that we ended up getting from, I believe it actually came out yesterday, that Caleb Williams is very, very intriguing for a Denver Broncos team. And the Denver Broncos are wanting to trade up in this year's NFL draft for Caleb Williams per this report. I think it's a no-brainer. I think that I agree with the statement that the Broncos are going to want a quarterback. Now, who that quarterback is, because if you go from 12 to 1, you're going to be paying your whole mortgage. You're going to be paying your whole life's insurance. You're going to be paying your whole trust fund to go from 12 to 1. Chicago is in a really good spot. Chicago has the 1st and the 9th overall spot here in the NFL draft. So I do believe Chicago wants to move up, but can they? That's the big question out there. Can they? But that's what we're discussing right now. Arizona Cardinals right now are probably sitting pretty. We don't have to deal with all the, okay, should the Cardinals draft a quarterback? Right? No, we're sitting good. We're sitting good here at the 4th overall spot. We're waiting. We're just hoping that the what's it called? The New England Patriots don't mess it up for us. That's what we're hoping for. That the New England Patriots don't snipe away one of the best prospects coming out of this year's NFL draft. That's what we're hoping for. But excitement overall. Let's go to the chat here. Somebody in the chat says, yo, you said quarterback. I might have said quarterback, but I meant cornerback. It's probably just my accent. No, cornerback is what I meant. Somebody on the chat here says, let's see here. Problem is Giants know that either us or Chargers. Problem is Giants know that either us or Chargers need a QB. I don't think the Cardinals need QB right now. It seems like the Cardinals are good with Kyler Murray. Obviously, with Jonathan Gannon's words. Now, obviously, we have heard before that Josh Rosen's our guy, right? We have heard that, so I know it's kind of hard to believe anything that you hear, and I'm right there with you as well. But per Jonathan Gannon and Monty Austin they speak very, very highly of Kyler. So I think we're rolling with Kyler until something else is done otherwise, right? So something is done otherwise. Let's get what Day is. What's up, Day is? Day says Marvin Harrison Jr. plus Joe Alt equals win. Anything less is a bust. Well, I mean, if you want to get Joe Alt, you gotta be somewhere in the top 6, top 7. You gotta be somewhere in the top 6 or top 7. Marvin Harrison Jr. can fall to us. We've already talked about the scenarios that can possibly happen in the first part of the stream. Marvin Harrison Jr. can fall to the Arizona Cardinals. And I know there's some people out there saying, don't get too excited. And okay, that's just my nature. I get too excited. It is what it is, right? It's my nature. He can fall to the Arizona Cardinals if it's quarterback. Regardless if Denver comes into the mix. Regardless. Because now we don't have to worry about the Chicago Bears. It's for the best interest, in my opinion, as a Cardinals fan that doesn't want Marvin Harrison Jr. to get sniped away from us, for the New England Patriots to get themselves a darn quarterback and start off. So, it's where we are. It's where we are. Somebody in the chat says Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't want to be here. I never heard anything. Actually, on the contrary, I think Marvin Harrison Jr. does want to be here. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is following close tabs on the Arizona Cardinals, to be honest with you. I don't know if you guys know, but Marvin Harrison Jr. liked, and I get it, right? We're all talking speculations right now, right? We don't know. All we do know is that Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably one of the best wide receiving prospects we've seen in a very long time. Has a dad that's in the Hall of Fame. This is a player that's business, right? We're talking about a potential maybe next Larry Fitzgerald for the Arizona Cardinals. And don't you all miss that? A non-diva wide receiver? And I'm talking about a diva. Larry Fitzgerald at one point wanted the ball in his hand all the time, right? He got a scuffle into with Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner put him in his place and said, "You get the ball." I'm not saying that, but I'm saying a guy that's specifically all in on football. That's what Marvin Harrison Jr. is. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I have faith, y'all. I have faith. I think he wants to be in Arizona. I truly do. I think he wants to be in Arizona. I think he's following close tabs on the Cardinals. If you ask me, right? If you ask yourself, and I've said this earlier too. Ask yourself this question: who would you rather catch a pass from, Kyler or Mac Jones? Kyler or a rookie quarterback and Drake May? Kyler or Caleb? I mean, well, I guess those are irrelevant because you can't get both of them, right? Never mind. Who would you rather catch a pass from, Kyler or Mac Jones? Going back to that, right? Yeah, that last statement was absolutely irrelevant because, yeah, you can't catch a pass from a guy that's getting drafted 2 spots ahead of you. You obviously can't. Somebody in the chat says, what's so good about Marvin Harrison Jr.? We're hearing one of the best wide receiving prospects in quite some time is what we're hearing. A guy that's all in football. A guy that has a Hall of Fame dad that played in the NFL. Marvin Harrison. This is Marvin Harrison Jr. is what we're hearing. We're talking about a guy that's all in on football and wants nothing but to be great. And he has the stats to prove it. Look it up. It's some good stuff. That's what's so great. And on top of that, the Cardinals are in a perfect position to try to get themselves a number 1 wide receiver. We don't know what's going to happen with Marquise Hollywood Brown. Marquise Hollywood Brown's an unknown. Is he coming back? We don't know, right? We love Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson, hopefully, if he stays healthy, can blossom into what we can all love for him to become. Greg Dortch, please come back. Rondale Moore, he's going to be here because he's under contract, but I want to see more Greg Dortch. I'm calling it like it is, right? I've said it in the last couple of years. I like Greg Dortch's play a lot more than I do Rondale. So that's what it is. So definitely excitement. So Marvin Harrison Jr., that's what's so, I guess, great about him. One of the top prospects. One of the best wide receivers in our time. That's what we're hearing. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Somebody in the chat says, what's up? Same damn Bub says, we're fixing to be dangerous next season. Buckle up. Well, to believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, the Cardinals are in a very good position. Now, we are in a very good position financially. We're in a very good, and we can be better. We can be in a better position financially if we do make more moves, right? Restructuring of contracts that we currently have right now and the draft picks that we have. I've said this before in multiple streams. The Cardinals right now have 6 picks in the top 100. Imagine the Cardinals hit on 3 of those picks and we get automatic starters. We hit 3 of those picks. We get a 50% great rate, right? Let's say we hit 3 of those. That's 3 starters, ladies and gentlemen. I get it. They're rookies. They're going to go from bumps and bruises. We're in a good position. I'm excited. Let's see here. Let's keep it with the chat. What do you think we are going to do with the 27th pick? A great question. That's such a hard question to answer because it just really depends on who falls. Ideally, what I would love the Arizona Cardinals to do is get a weapon for Kyler. So wide receiver at that 4th overall. And for that 27th, I would love to address the trenches. Primarily offensive line, but I wouldn't be mad if we get an interior defensive line. Hell, I would love it. I think trenches should be top of mind for the Arizona Cardinals? Offensive line or interior defensive line? Because we do got another pick in the second round. I believe it's a 35, if I'm not mistaken. 35th. So we're picking 27th, and then what? 8 picks later, we got another pick. So if there's a cornerback that falls to us, there's another interior defensive lineman that falls to us, the Cardinals can make out here pretty good. We can make out like a bandit if we do this right. If we do this right. So a weapon in the top 10 pick, and then trenches in this with the 27th. Now, there's been people out there flirting with the idea of trading away that 27th pick to get a already player. I could see the benefits of that, but the Cardinals right now, I don't feel like are in a position to bring in somebody and then automatically pay them. What Monty has been saying is that we want to build this from the draft, right? We want to make sure that all the numbers are being in a spot where we can pay these guys what we can pay them, but they're on a rookie deal, right? That's the benefit of having a rookie deal, right? The first round picks have the option of a 5th round pick, which is only benefiting the team, right? You're getting a great player under a rookie deal. You could trade somebody. Yeah, you could trade away and get somebody. It's just, I don't want to find ourselves back in the same position again, right? Because you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. Injuries happen. And if we're allocating a lot of money to a specific player that we got, it could kind of bite us in the butt later. If it happens, it happens. I mean, it is what it is. We'll support it. But this is what we're talking about here today, ladies and gentlemen. Just another quick recap. If you are reading the title and you're like, what's going on? What the heck is this guy talking about? Report came out yesterday that the Broncos want to trade up in this year's NFL draft for USC cornerback Caleb Williams. This is what we're diving into today, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we've already talked about the idea that the Arizona Cardinals can benefit from this, right? We can benefit from this for multiple different reasons, right? Marvin falls to us, or not even just Marvin, but potentially just, trading back, maybe accumulating more draft picks. Anything could happen. I think we're in a really, really good position. Somebody in the chat says, I'm mostly excited for free agency. I'm excited for both. Personally. But I get it. Free agency comes first. So I don't blame you. Free agency is like in what? A month and a half away? Y'all, it's going to get here real soon. Right now, the Cardinals have $42 million in cap space. And I hope that Monty Austin-Ford is working away to get some more cap space so we can go ahead and bring some people in. Because we got holes for days. Here we go. We got my guy Rafa coming up clutch. This is exactly the way I look at it here all the time. This is the way exactly I look at it all the time. Caleb, May, Daniels is done. 1, 2, 3, unless an injury happens. Marvin is a lock to us. This is the way I look at it too. Honestly. That's the way I look at it. Regardless if Caleb is not to Chicago and the Broncos do trade up and give away their whole farm and a lung to trade up to number 1. I'm just joking about the lung. But, just trading up and giving up so much draft capital. I think this is exactly the way 1, 2, 3 is going to go. That's exactly the way I think 1, 2, 3 is going to go. Caleb, May, Daniels. Daniels is a Heisman Trophy winner, ladies and gentlemen. A Heisman Trophy winner. Pretty good quarterback, if you ask me. Pretty good quarterback. Why not have the Patriots reset? Why not have them reset? New coaching staff. Marvin, let's go. Marvin Harrison Jr., you're a Cardinal. That's all I got to say here, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I got to say here. So that's pretty much what we wanted to talk about today with the potential shakeup here of the NFL draft. Yes, the Cardinals right now are sitting at the 4th overall spot here in the NFL draft, and we currently are holding the 27th and the 35th, which is our second round pick. And man, I'm just so excited, man. I'm so excited about just this off season. I feel like something new is happening. New culture is being established. Culture is being laid out. And I'm not gonna lie to you, Kyler Murray looks happy. Kyler Murray looks happy. And if you have a happy Kyler Murray, that just sounds like a recipe for success. Yeah, and I agree with this too. I'm gonna call you 21 because I'm most likely gonna butcher that first part. Could always trade up from 27. Facts. Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. Let's say our Cardinals do still stick at 4 and everything works out perfectly. What if there's a tackle out there that the Cardinals want? What if there's an edge player that the Cardinals want? What if there's a cornerback that the Cardinals want to trade up? Yeah, absolutely. I don't think you guys understand how much draft capital we have. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yes, we're not 2 picks in the top 10 like we all thought we were going to be, right? Let's call it like we all thought we were going to have 2 picks in the top 10. That's how it was supposed to happen. Let's call it like it is. Dang you, Texans. But I mean, we still have 2 first-round picks in the bottom line. We can still trade up. Options for days. Got my guy in the chat says, I want Malik Neighbors. Well, guess what? Guess what? If Marvin Harrison Jr. ain't there and the Cardinals want to trade back, he might be there. Or even if they go Malik Neighbors at 4, it might take me a little bit to be like, okay, let's go. But honestly, I might still be like, let's go, because I still see him as a top 3 wide receiver. So we'll see. Got somebody in the chat says, I think Bo Nix will be a first rounder. He might. He might. There's a lot of teams that have a lot of mediocre quarterback play right now. There's a lot of teams that have a lot of mediocre quarterback play. So you got those quarterbacks that could potentially be fringe first rounders, right? Bo Nix, Michael Penix, right? It's just a potential people to throw out there. JJ McCarthy. So like, yeah, I mean, it could happen. It could happen. Yeah, you never know. A lot of people might fall to the Cardinals for sure. Yeah, so right now we got 6 picks. 6 picks in the top 100. The 4th, the 27th, the 35th, the 66th, the 71st, and the 90th. And then we got, 7 more picks after that? Yo, we got picks for days. So why not Cardinals trade up, right? Yeah, why not? Why not? Why not? All right, so let's do this. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, by the way. I didn't want to go very long. I just want to kind of give you guys the news. I want to kind of continue to do these live streams. I love the interaction between everybody. If you guys did like this, right, a place to kind of come over and obviously talk, smack the like button. If this is your first time here, subscribe it up. Become a member and, subscribe it up. Join the family. That's all I got to say. Smack the like button if you did enjoy the conversation. We are going to be closing up shop here. We just needed to... I just needed to come out here and give you guys the latest report that came out. Can it happen? Maybe. Can it not happen? Maybe. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of what's happening right now in the NFL season. And the beautiful thing is that the Cardinals right now are sitting at the 4th overall spot. We're chilling. We're chilling right now. There's no stress. There's no stress for the Cardinals right now. So I think we're really, really excited. We got the free agency coming up here in the next, month and a half. And then we go ahead and focus down on the draft. So let's go. Super excited, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to every single one of you guys. Thank you, everybody, for chiming in on the chat. Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you. All right, y'all. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, go Cards.